Hello and welcome to the second video of how the basic Civ 6 controls work. And in this video I'm going to be talking about map views, unit control, and settling a city, where to pick a location. You're gonna want to have a good start, and a small rundown of the city screen. So, first off, we've loaded the map. And we have two units with a warrior and a settler. Well, as you can see, we have quite a view already, which is pretty good, because I've also had a lot of games where my total view is a lot smaller. You click the settler, you can move it. Right here, if you can see it underneath the XSplit marker, there is a move to arrow. You can click it, and you can control the units and where to go. There's also a skip turn, in which they'll sleep for one turn. They'll reactivate on the next turn, reminding you to do something with them. You can also let's go do that right here, sleep mode, and they'll be asleep for as long as they are until you decide to reactivate them and wake them up. Settlers have an additional button, and that is Found City. We'll get back to that in just a bit. Warrior units have different movement, and each unit has different movement, such as artillery, field cannons, archers, scouts, tanks, aircraft. That's just something that you'll have to find out on the fly. But the entire basic movement system works in the same principle. There's just a few different buttons on military units. They can either fortify a position, and that means that if you fortify a city, that an enemy unit will not be able to take it as easy as it would without it. Or you can set them to alert, and they'll guard the area, and if anything comes close, they'll move in on it. Or at least wake up. There is an additional button that most units have, and that is this one. And that is the stop sign. You click it, and whatever it is they're doing, healing, fortifying, moving, it all stops, and they stay put on the tile they're on. This is a very useful unit, because if you have a unit moving to somewhere, so you choose to put it all the way out here, and you learn that there's an encampment right here, and you need to get rid of it because otherwise it'll attack your city, you can just click that button and guide it back home. So let's go and see whether or not this is a good start. And you can actually see that using the different views of the map. So let's go and do that right now. You have lenses here for different kinds of things. Most of these will not even be used until mid or late game, and you can just try them out. You'll see different kinds of aspects, and their description pretty much, it's self-explanatory. I think it's fairly easy to do that. You have strategy view. Now, most people don't like this. I myself am not a huge fan, but some people do like it a lot. But you can see a lot of different things, like bonus resources, luxury resources, good places to sell your city. The game will give you some locations. I just usually use this view. And to see whether or not a city which tile is good to found a city on, you just click the map option, where you can either delete the grid and have a world, or you can have resource icon gone to make it a bit tougher. But you want to see the yield icons. What does each tile give me? So we can see free food, 2 food, 1 food, 1 food, 2 production, 3 production, and this is a very good one. This is going to give a lot of income. So there's a lot of hills around us, which is good, and there's some food here as well, and there's some marble. There's luxury resources. There's deers. For a standard location, this is actually really pretty good. This is one of the better locations you can get. So let's go and found a city. Now, there's a couple of things you can do. You can either have a warrior unit and just have it automate exploration, just let them automatically explore the map. You can have them fortify your city or scout around your city and destroy any and all barbarian encampments. I myself always choose to go with automate exploration. And I just tend to keep them no more than 10 tiles away in the beginning. I just have them explore the entire area surrounding my city, because that is the very most likely kind of position where I'll be setting my first extra city. So now we've seen the yields, we can switch them back off. Lower the menu. And there's the city screen. Now once you click a city, there's a couple of things you can see. First off, the city itself. Every time you build a building or district, it's actually really very visible on the map. You have a lot of different buttons, a lot of different icons, and we'll just go past them one by one. First off, there's the city detail screen. This shows you a lot of different things, such as the food per turn is being used, the growth, whether or not the city is happy, ecstatic, or anything else. There's the amount of the districts you've built, the buildings, and what their yields are. So it says this: the palace yields is +2 production, +5 gold, +2 science, +1 culture. There's also a pantheon you can create, but the in-game tutorial will help you on that. That's probably something way better to do. And there's loyalty and governors, and that's from Rise and Fall. But to be honest, I rarely use this unless a city is losing loyalty. And when it does, you can see right here what's causing loyalty to be lost, and what other influences from outside, loyalty pressure from other civs, are a threat. So you can counter them using the proper governors, city districts, or amenities, stuff like that. Second button is to purchase a tile. Now at some point you're going to have quite a bit of gold and you can buy tiles, and sometimes it's strategically wise to do it, or you just want to do it because you think you have a nice shape in your entire border sequence. But there's all kinds of stuff. You just click it and you instant buy it, and that's done. It's pretty self-explanatory. There is the civilization citizen screen, and that is very important. The game usually tends to pick the tiles with the best possible yields, but sometimes you can want to have something else. So for example, I have a pretty good tile here on the left, so let's just ignore that and pretend it's just another set of plains just like this one right here. That would mean it would have 1 food and 1 production. Then I would have multiple choices, and I could switch whenever I want. So the most basic thing and the quickest thing that this will be important to you as a new player is whenever you found a new city, and the best thing you can possibly ever do is just keep the city growing in the beginning. The more citizens you have, the more tiles you can work, and if you improve the tiles, then you can really upgrade your production a lot. The best thing is to get your city growing in population size. So whenever it happens, make sure to have a citizen working as much food tiles as you possibly can. Well, I've got 3 here, and if I would improve it with animal husbandry, that would become even more, which is pretty good yield. Seeing as there's a couple of different set of tiles, it'll probably put my second citizen automatically right here. But like I said, you can decide that for yourself. If you're building something, you need it to be done quickly because you really need that wonder, or you really need that district, or whatever reason, or that specific unit, you can just change your citizens' locations and change the amount of production per turn, food per turn, gold per turn, in order to achieve your goals. So that is something you can actually play with, and it's a very big part of the game. You can use that in every city at every stage of the game. Besides that, there is the production screen, and the production screen is actually all of these buttons. This is the basic production screen. This is where you choose to build whatever it is you want. So I myself usually build a builder first to get a farm going that gives me extra housing, extra food. It'll help me grow a city. But the very same screen has the gold and faith purchase options that are in the screen here as well. At some point you're going to have enough faith and policy cards to allow you to buy units, civilian units, or buildings with faith. But you can also, if you have the gold, buy anything with gold. Except districts unless you have the specific governor, which is a part of the Rise and Fall expansion. The yields are fairly easy to view to look at. I mean, it's you get 1.4 per culture per turn, plus 4 food, plus 6.3 production, plus 2.6 science. I have 0 faith right now, plus 8.4 gold, and you can actually see that right here in the top. I usually tend to use this more than this, but that's basically because when you have more than one city, you're going to play on a larger scale than just one city. It is, however, useful to check this if you're going to build something that requires a lot of production value. You can actually see that it says 30 production, 40 production, 35 production, etc. And it rises as you do bigger things. At some point, you may want to build a rocket, and that will cost you like 2,000 production. There's the name of the city, and this marker right here, this star, indicates it's an original capital. So, for example, if Kyoto were to be taken by force, and I would have another city, that would be a new capital, but this marker would be different. And this particular marker shows it was an original capital city, which you'll need for a domination victory. There is a right side and a left side, and the right side shows what you are building, how long it'll take, and what it can do. It shows movement points, and in case of a builder, the amount of production charges it has. The left side of the screen shows you loyalty, religious citizens. That has to do with a religious victory, and I would recommend you take a look at my religious victory video for that. There's amenities, and there's housing. There's also the amount of turns that you need until growth and the amount of citizens in your city. And this right here differs per city, depending on what civ it is. And loyalty is basically, are your citizens loyal? Do they want to revolt? Are they happy? Amenity shows you how much activities there are to do and available for the citizens to do, so to keep them happy. And housing is pretty self-explanatory. Now, there's a lot more to talk about, but I'll be doing that in my next video. I hope this has been useful to you. If you have questions, please do post them below. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good one.